Hello guys, just finished doing my Battleworld attacks and now it's without the bleed damage, and I'm gonna show what I used because it looks like I did well. So first team I used was Astral, no surprise there. Let's show a little bit the kits of each team and how much damage I did. Okay, so here with Astral you have generally speaking, when you face Knull, after a few turns that he takes, he gets a lot of barrier and it's difficult to do more damage into him. You have him here that when he does an attack, where is it? Yeah, so when he does an attack or an Asel does a ultimate or special, it says somewhere here, but the word is will also trigger when any astral uses their special ability. So, and it's not only astral, I've tested this, in case you want to hammer dice. He clears all barrier from the most injured enemy, that is almost always Knull in this fight, and he will attack him plus 5% of the enemy's max health, so he does a lot of damage with this. Removes the barrier. You have her here removing a lot of barrier. I don't think she removes here, but she removes clear barrier. Here it doesn't clear barrier. And you also have a lot of healing, but not does permanent damage to some degree. What helped a lot was this here. In Battleworld, it puts out 2 death proofs. If you played correctly, actually I only played once, but it seemed like the revive still works, because I had her die by bleed and then he revived her. Didn't bug anything or make him take more damage, no. But having the death proofs here and her giving safeguard, and you had a situation where Astral were many times surviving by the death proofs and then maybe healing back up a little bit because you have Shadow King healing, Moondragon healing, and Doctor Strange healing. You have a lot of characters that remove your debuffs, but mostly it's like you play around the barrier. It's a team design for Battleworld. I don't think it's a big surprise, this team. Let's show how much it did. Okay, so this is a screenshot of my first attack. You will see that all of them add up and have the same score that I did. And it's 338 million damage. I think that's the best team, and it's sold as this, so no big surprise here. Okay, and this is the second team that I used. Let's show how much damage I did. So it was 126, 127 million damage. So again, I don't think it's a huge surprise. You have Black Knight that pings and removes barrier, which is very important. You have Odin Ultimate that does clear barrier as well. Mephisto, let's show Mephisto. Okay, so Mephisto here, when this character or an ally drops below 20% max health, he will put 1 death proof. This helped a lot of people survive in combination with Holman Logan, where he gets, when he does this, he gains 2 death proofs. So you have this team, they survived basically. Having Holman Logan there helped giving him speed bar. You can't assist, but he was getting speed bar because he was getting hit. He had a lot of death proofs by himself and Mephisto giving him, so he was surviving a lot. Nightcrawler has this annoying passive that when he drops under a percent of his health, then he heals and gets many evades. So he was surviving. He also has safeguards usually to protect him with the evades. Nightcrawler was speeding up people, giving them speed bar. Was putting out vulnerables. I don't think slow helps too much against a Knull, but he puts a slow when vulnerables on his ultimate, it's not bad. You have Mephisto that does a lot of damage, Odin that does a lot of damage with his 3% max health in every basic that he does, also with his battlefield effect. So it's basically a mix of the best characters that are remaining. Nightcrawler synergizes a little bit with Tolman Logan, giving him some evades on spawn, I think. A speed bar, so he gives speed bar to 2 people. This team worked very well. I like the combination of Raiders and Strikers. We had vulnerables to play around with and give Olman Logan more speed bar. Yeah, the strongest characters doing a lot of damage. Mephisto giving them death proof and surviving a lot. So for the next team, I tried a little bit harder. This was also like my first attempt, and I did the score. And I tried to find a team with death proofs. So this is the final best team I came up with. Let's show the score that I did. Okay, so it was almost 72 million damage. And I tried a lot of stuff in here. I tried Penny Parker, she gives death proof with her ultimate. And had some success, but then she removes them with her basic that she gets the mind control, so it wasn't extremely effective. I tried Thanos Endgame and Gladiator, didn't work that great. I really like Apocalypse and Red Hulk here. Red Hulk does his special a lot and does clear barrier. Then you have Kang that both his special and his ultimate clear barrier. I think those works very well. Apocalypse ultimate clears all barrier, so you can save this and use it when Knull starts getting a lot of turns and a lot of barrier. Kahori special clears all barrier, which is amazing. So you can have that. You can even use it maybe at the beginning and then it gets to get back into cooldown. She gets a lot of turns, she puts out vulnerables, and Kang gets a little bit of speed bar. You can have him as a striker then. I tried like Gladiator in there because he spawns with tank, he protects a little bit of people, and then the Gladiator does remove a barrier with his special, but he's kind of slow. He didn't. I think the best worked here a Blade, because when he uses his ultimate at the start of the match, Knull doesn't hit you for 2 turns because he's going to use his basic. So because he puts out a blinds to Knull, and he does some other things. He puts out some different sounds, some slows. It's not terrible. It's not extremely effective against Knull. He does damage. Most recruiters find a great 5th. I'm not saying that these are the best that you can come up with. It was like I approached it very casually. There's no leaderboard. I just wanted to see how it works, and without the bleeds and everything. I originally didn't like it too much, especially with Astral. It kind of felt boring, but when you started seeing them survive barely by their death proofs and wanting to manage this, so you use, for example, with HN1, sometimes you want to use the speed up, the special, to give speed up to your team and them taking more turns. Sometimes you want to use their ultimate, so everyone on your team except Shadow King will have a safeguard to protect them. Many times you want to use Strange's ultimate because it gives a death proof, but maybe you want to save it until your team doesn't have any death proofs left. You have people cleansing you, your team. It's nice that you can use both your special and your ultimate, and Shadow King keeps going. Also with his special he gets some evades, and offense up on his team. But maybe you want to use Shadow King's basic at the start because he puts out blind, and if Knull is about to basic, he doesn't hit anyone. So there's some strategy on how to play it, and it was kind of interesting. The second team was again interesting because you wanted them to survive by death proofs and get some speed bar to Old Man Logan. Might be interesting to make a combination of teams from the second and the third team and maybe make something better out of it. And it was interesting here trying to do a good final score without having the best characters available. And I was playing around. I really liked the Red Hulk, Apocalypse, and Kang in there. I think Kahor is great, which I use her later. I wasn't very familiar that her special doesn't move barrier, but since it does, this is great here. I was experimenting with like Blade and Agatha because Agatha has death proofs and they both give drain to each other, so they can survive a little bit. I was experimenting with Annihilators in Super Scroll, but they did terrible. Tried Captain Sam with like Penny because they are skilled and he gives her them speed bar and he taunts and protects people and gives her energy to ult again and give them again death proofs. Penny and B. Parker, and it was nice because he was healing and giving when he does his special originally it gives her energy and she can use her ultimate faster. There's definitely some theory crafting on the mode. I'm not sure I really like not having the bleed teams, but generally speaking I like Battleworld a lot better now. Less mundane day-to-day stuff to do, more gameplay that it's actually impactful and it's some strategy. We'll see what we can come up with Knull. Let's see the final score again in the saved squad. Okay, so 536 million damage, and I saved those three teams for no. I don't think they are the best teams. It's just a good starting point because I saw that they did well, and we can make a combination out of the second and the third team, and try to theorycraft. Maybe do something with Emma Frost X-Men and Old Man Logan because it gives him speed bar, and do something else with Astral. I'm not sure if it's the best.